Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to start a new basil plant from cuttings. And we're going to take this from start to the point where it's ready to be planted however you choose to plant it. Now to do this you want a basil cutting. You can do this from a fresh plant, which is what I have done, or you could even take it and do this with cuttings that you buy at the grocery store, and it will work with those as long as there's enough life left in them. Now this one came from a rather tall plant and it hadn't been trimmed yet. I was overdue on trimming it. But when you cut a basil plant, you want to cut it just above where the leaves start to branch out. So you would clip it here, and in fact I think we're going to do that because this is rather tall. So I'm just going to clip it right there. And now we want to remove as many leaves as we can, because if you leave all of these leaves on there, it's not going to work very well. The plant just won't be strong enough. It's going to be putting a lot of energies into trying to maintain those existing leaves. So we're going to cut off all but just the smallest of leaves on this. We're going to attempt to leave these two on there, and we've got some small leaves, but we've got a bit of a tail to work with, and that's what we want. It needs to be in some water, and I have some actually reverse osmosis water here. You could use just filtered water. And we want to get that in the water because it's going to root. We don't need to put anything special in there. You can put a rooting medium in there if you want, but you don't have to. Now, this one you could just clip the leaves off and use them as you want to, but we're going to experiment. We're going to go ahead and cut those off. And we're going to leave these existing leaves on there, and we're going to add this to the blend. Now this one is very short, and it came from a different basil plant that I have outside, and it is going to be able to root, but I may not be able to put it in that jar because it's so short. But once again, we want to cut off these leaves so the plant has the strength to maintain what little bit of leaves it's got while it puts some energy into actually creating roots. There. Now we have a very short little stem, and because I think that's going to be not right for it, I've got a separate little container here to put this in, and again we want that in some water, but not the whole thing like that. We want it standing up. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge to keep this one standing up in that water. Good morning everybody. It is day 2 on our basil cuttings, and they've just been sitting in this jar since yesterday. And I think you can see there's no change as of yet, which is perfectly normal. Now this one I'm having a problem with because I keep finding that it slides down into this container. That's not good. You don't want it completely submerged because it needs a little oxygen at the same time. It's still day 2, and I just wanted to show you what I did to have to try to save the plant. I hooked a clothespin to it to keep it from falling down into the water. It's the morning of day 3, and we're going to take a look at these. And on the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, but on the bottom there's a little bit of like a brownish ring there. And it looks like it's swelling up just a little bit. That actually is all perfectly normal. And this other one has a little bit of a brownish ring on the bottom. Same thing. All normal. They're all getting ready to sprout leaves. And so this morning I'm going to change the water in the jar just to freshen it up some and put them right back in there and just let them keep on sitting. I've got them on a windowsill. They don't have to be in the sunlight. I don't think you really need them in dark either, just wherever you want to put them. So I'm going to put those up. This does take a while. And now we're going to get this little one here that's got a clothespin attached to it. And take a look. And the same thing. This one also has just a little bit of a brown ring on the very bottom of it. I'm afraid I'm going to damage it. Hi everybody, it is day 8 and I just wanted to show you our progress. I don't know if you can see our little tiny one there or not, but we've got just some little bit of roots that are starting on there. So this one is going to be perfectly fine. And let's see, on one of these, we definitely have some roots starting, if you can see them right on the end there. Absolutely wonderful. And you can see how it kind of swelled up on the end. That's a sign that roots are forming, and it's not ready to plant yet, but it's getting there. This one is a little bit slower than the others, but nevertheless, it is still going to produce roots. We see that the bottom is kind of starting to swell up a little bit. And if you look at it really closely, which I don't think you can see, it is starting to produce roots. So this one's a little slower than the others, but that's okay. We don't all develop at the same rate. Anyway, we'll skip a couple days and show you again what it looks like soon. Good morning, everybody. It is the morning of day 9, and I said I was going to skip a couple days, but this time I wanted to show you how much difference 24 hours can make when we're talking about these plants. Look at the roots on that. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe you can't like that. Let's try it this way. Hopefully you can see in 24 hours we had some good root development on that. And we'll take a look at these others. Look at that. That is something else. And this one that was being slow to develop is a little easier for you to see now, hopefully. So we are making good progress. I'll touch base again. Hi everybody, it's day 12 and I'm going to call these guys ready to be planted any way you want. And I just want to show you a close-up here. The amount of roots we have on our one that has the 2 little sprigs coming out of it. You can see there's a lot of roots on that. And on our single one, you can see that's got a fair amount of roots on it. And as on our little tiny one, it's got some good roots growing. And this has a long way to go yet, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is put this little one in a rock wool cube for my hydroponics. Any of them are ready at this point to be planted in soil if you want to do that, or you could plant them hydroponically. And I know not everyone's familiar with the hydroponics, so I'm going to show you. Now I'm just going to split the rock wool cube to the point of where the seed hole is, where you would plant seeds. And I'm just going to slip this in that slit. I'm going to spread it open a little bit and just lay it in there. And if you can see, some of the roots will be in where they can embed themselves in the rock wool. Some of them will be a little bit below. And now I'm just going to push that rock wool cube in, not entirely down to the bottom. I don't want to smash the roots that are protruding outward. And I'm going to just allow this to sit in some water just for a few more days until more of those roots are exposed outward, and then I will put it in a jug that I have covered with foil, and it's just going to be filled with some nutrient solution. I'm just going to put it in there and the plant will grow just fine. These 2 would be prime candidates to be planted in soil, which is probably what I'm going to do. So you have your choices. So if you roughly give it 2 weeks from start to finish, you'll be ready to plant the basil sprigs any way you want. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. I do hope this helps. This is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Bye for now.